The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 37. Once upon a time, there was a robot. Behind the cold, clammy, confining walls of state prison, a voice utters 6 welcome words.
Professor Strom, your sentence is over.
At last, I'm free.
You've been a model prisoner for 10 years. Good luck on the outside, Professor.
Thanks. Sure, I've been a model prisoner. I've done nothing but plan my revenge all that time.
Then, no sooner does Professor Strom put the iron gates behind him when...
Glad to see you, Strom. I got everything all set, like you wanted.
Do not forget yourself, Max. You will always address me as Professor.
But other eyes observe the fateful meeting, the eyes of an ex-con turned reporter named Foswell.
I knew my old cellmate would be getting out today. He's being picked up by another ex-inmate named Max Young. They must have made some plans while in prison. I wonder if he's still as hungry for revenge as ever. They're heading for town. I'd better follow. There may be a story in it for me.
That guy watching the professor must be a stoolie. The prof will be real grateful to me if I wing him.
However, before a shot can be fired...
Whoa there, sonny boy. In case you don't know it, this is a no-noise zone.
Spider-Man.
And I wanted it to be a surprise. Okay, talk. Why do you try to ventilate Foswell? I said talk.
I didn't mean any harm, honest. I just hoped the professor would let me join him if I proved I could be useful.
You're gonna be useful, all right. Follow me, mister. We'll use your car to tell the professor and see what he's up to. And to make sure you don't get any foolish ideas, I'll just web you to the seat. Now get going.
But exactly 30 seconds later...
A police car following us. They couldn't have seen me. And you're not speeding.
Use your spider power. Get rid of him. You gotta.
That license number checks out, Bill. It's a stolen car.
Let's nab him before he can lose us downtown.
Well, Buttercup, I've got a hunch it's you they're after, not me. And that's the way I like it. You don't catch me fighting the law.
But what'll I do when they get me?
Try singing a little song. Too bad I lost Foswell. I'm sure there was trouble brewing. I'd better check the Daily Bugle. I might find a clue there as to what he was after. Whee! This sure beats waiting for a bus.
And at the bustling offices of the Daily Bugle, that publisher paragon, J. Jonah Jameson, also wonders about Foswell's whereabouts.
Anyone here seen Foswell?
No, Chief. Not me, JJ.
Not a sight of him, boss.
No, sir.
Miss, whatever your name is, are you sure Foswell hasn't called in?
Positive, Mr. Jameson.
Then get back to work. What do you think I'm paying you for?
No wonder old Hatchet Face can't keep his secretary. If he ever smiled, I'll bet his frozen face would crack in two.
Gosh, every time I come up here, Jolly Jonah has a new secretary. I guess Betty is gone. For good.
What do you want, Parker? If you haven't any photos for me, I'm busy.
Speaking of photos, you never paid me for that last set I sold you.
It's your fault. If not for you, Betty Brand might not have quit. My records are all mixed up since she left.
Mr. Jameson, I've got some news for you.
Foswell, you'd better have something for me. I've been looking for you all day.
I'm in luck. Here comes Foswell now.
Ever hear of Professor Strom? He's an ex-cellmate of mine. A mechanical genius. He was released from jail today, and he's been threatening revenge for years on the one who sent him up.
Well, go on.
I think there's a big story in it. I tried to follow him, but he gave me the slip.
So that's it. I'd better learn all I can about this Professor Strom. Let's go into my office and talk. I'm expecting a call. They've left. This'll give me a chance to put my trusty little spider tracer in Foswell's hatband. Good. Nobody saw me. Now I can cut out too. But sooner or later, that little hat will lead Spider-Man into some new action.
Now, let's switch our scene to the man in whom everyone seems so interested as we visit the well-equipped hideout of Professor Strom.
I bought all the gadgets you wanted with the dough you had stashed away, Professor. Anything else you need?
No, this is perfect. I will not need you again until the robot is finished. Go home and wait for my call, Max. 10 years I dreamed of this moment. I've dreamed of getting my revenge on the man who cheated me out of my inventions. As he has ruined my life, so shall I ruin him.
And while the professor plots, Peter Parker heads for school as usual.
I wonder if Gwen Stacy is still mad at me. Well, there's only one way to find out. Hi, Gwen. We're both heading for the same class. Mind if I join you?
What are you doing, Mr. Parker? Slumming? Usually you're too stuck up to say hello to anyone.
Well, at least I'm not a temperamental female who drools over a fellow one day and then acts like an icicle to him the next. Drat that crazy temper of mine. Now I've really put my foot in it.
Even if you are ESU's newest science scholarship whiz kid, nobody talks to me that way.
Come on, Gwen. Simmer down. Let's bury the hatchet, huh?
You think you can say what you want to me, and then... Ow!
Anyone ever tell you you're gorgeous when you're angry?
Hey, what's going on there? I saw that, Parker.
I know. Those beady little pig-like eyes of yours never miss a trick, Flash.
I'll make you eat those words, you puny punk. Come on, put your hands up.
Oh, if I only dared. Just once. But with my spider strength, I'm liable to accidentally hurt him, no matter how careful I am. Sorry, Flash. I can't let you do it. If you damage my profile, half the girls at ESU would be heartbroken. We can't let that happen.
You yellow fink. I knew you'd chicken out.
Oh, let him go, Flash.
Okay, doll. But if he bothers you again, just let me know.
I'd bet my bottom dollar that Peter Parker wasn't the least bit scared of Flash.
I saw what happened, Gwen. Parker gives me a swift pain, too.
Oh, you haven't any use for anyone who's smarter than you are, Harry. Peter's never bothered you. What's the matter with me? I'm actually starting to defend him.
Boy, if unpopularity ever became popular, I'd be top man around here.
Then, as the class ends,
Remember to stay out of my way from now on, Parker.
You bet I will. For all I know, your stupidity might be catching.
but while Peter revels in his merry campus social life, we rejoin Professor Strom once more, just as Max returns.
It's finished, Max. What do you think of my little beauty?
It moves by itself. It grabbed me.
Of course, I willed it to. Do not worry, Max. I can mentally control its every action. It has passed every test perfectly, and best of all, I can electronically follow its every move. Watch. I shall dispatch it to its victim now. This is the first step of my magnificent master plan of total revenge. See how effortlessly it can scale high vaults. And now, at last, it has reached its goal. A god is approaching, but he'll be helpless to stop it.
What in the name of creation is that? My bullets can't hurt it. I I've got to go for help. But how can I describe it so they won't think I was saying things? In fact, how do I know I'm not saying things?
The guard is gone. The place is now deserted, except for my robot. Everything is perfect. I want my revenge to last. The longer it takes, the more I'll enjoy it. And we will merely wreck part of his laboratory now. Begin this. I'll hit him where it hurts the most, in his wallet.
Meanwhile, an ever-growing crowd gathers outside the now smoking electronics plant.
Step back, folks. Make room for the fire trucks.
I could have sworn I saw someone in the air above me. But with all this smoke, I must have imagined it.
Imagined it? Not quite.
I thought I smelled smoke from around the corner. If anyone's trapped inside, I may be able to help. No, the place seems empty enough, except for... Holy Hannah! There's something crawling along the floor, coming towards me. It's got tentacles. It grabbed me. Shades of Doc Ock. What have I run into? It's a robot of some kind, and strong. In fact, it's stronger than I thought. I can't push it, or pull it, or make it budge. It let go. It can move like a streak when it wants to. Now it's on top of me, holding me down, pressing. Its strength is too evenly distributed. I can't get it off. It's so skillfully made that it hasn't any weak points, which is more than I can say about myself. I'm actually helpless. Wait, there's one thing that might help. The fire. It's my only chance. Any mechanism as delicately constructed as this robot might go all to pieces in the midst of hungry flames. Anyway, there's nothing else to do but try. It better happen fast, before the flames finish me off too. It worked. The inferno is affecting it. It's releasing its hold on me. And not a minute too soon. Now I'd better get out fast, before the entire building collapses. But I'd sure like to have learned more about that robot. Well, I've got a hunch this isn't the last I've seen of it.
Look, it's Spider-Man.
Say, maybe he started the fire.
Could be.
Later, back at the sinister sanctum of Professor Strom.
My first robot has served its purpose admirably, but it is now useless. However, my second one is far stronger, and, as you can see, I've equipped it with some remote-controlled distraction beam. We should have it all assembled and ready for operation within the hour.
You sure weren't kidding about that revenge kick of yours, huh, Professor?
Professor Strom never kids.
And now, we've got a small-scale surprise for you. Remember Harry Osborn, one of Peter Parker's nastier schoolmates?
I don't get it, Dad. Why would Spider-Man try to burn down your plant?
Don't believe everything you hear, Harry. It wasn't Spider-Man. Someone else was behind this.
But who?
None of your blasted business. I can't tell the kid how I cheated Professor Strom out of his inventions, and then railroaded him into jail when he began to threaten me. It has to be Strom who's after me.
Wouldn't it be something if Spider-Man is trying to work a protection racket?
Harry, don't you ever shut up.
At that moment, his nose for news twitching up a storm, Jolly Jonah Jameson enters our scene.
I was at our club when I heard the nose. Don't worry, Norman. Spider-Man won't get away with this.
We're not sure that he's the one, Jonah.
I'm sure. And J. Jonah Jameson is never wrong about such things. I suppose your insurance will cover the damage, eh?
Yes, but it looks bad. If the attacks continue, they won't renew my insurance.
We've got to do something.
That's a smart boy you've got, Norman. I like the way he sums up a situation. He'll go far.
He should. He should.
Well, if there's anything I can do for a fellow club member.
I'll call you if I need you, Jonah.
Meanwhile, blithely swinging over the somnambulant city, we find...
The character Foswell referred to might be responsible for that nutty robot. I'd better keep tabs on old Fozzie.
And, speaking of the elusive Mr. Foswell...
I'll be able to pick up more information in my identity as Patch, the Underworld Stoolie. I've got to learn where Professor Strom is hiding out.
Then, no sooner has Patch departed when an uninvited caller arrives.
Just my luck. He changed clothes. I wonder if he knew I had my spider tracer hidden on his hat. Well, maybe I can still spot him somehow.
A short time later, in one of the seedier sections of town.
What's doing, Charlie? Heard anything new lately?
No, and even if I did, I wouldn't spill it to a punk like you.
I know you wouldn't, but there are others here who will, for a price.
While just outside the smoky saloon.
Nothing so far. All I'm getting is heartburn from hanging upside down so long. Whoops, look who's there. It's that Stoolie, Patch. Might as well tail after him till I can get a lead on Foswell.
I knew I'd learn something, but first, I'll check it out before I call the cops.
And, as Patch thoughtfully walks in the direction of Professor Strom's laboratory, we prove our cleverness by beating him to it.
Everything is ready now, Max. Release the robot and stand aside. I've got to test it.
This one will be twice as dangerous as your first robot, if it works.
Of course it will work. Now let go. Perfect. Its response is swift and deadly.
While outside the lab.
One thing's for sure. Patch isn't merely sightseeing. He's after something here. But what?
It cost me plenty, but I learned that Strom is holed up somewhere in this area.
You! Stay where you are. Don't turn around. Don't even move.
I found him.
A built-in door, hidden in the wall. Very interesting. This is like watching The Man from U.N.C.L.E. on a life-size TV screen.
No sweat, Professor. Just some bum snooping around. It's all clear now. You want me to bring him in? Okay.
Oh no! Am I gonna have to tangle with another robot?
Alright, you. Through that door. Start moving.
I've got to follow that walking stovepipe and see what it's up to. But I can't cut out on Patch when it looks as if he's gonna need some help. But fast. There's only one thing I can do. I'll use another sticky spider tracer to keep track of the robot, no matter where it goes. Boy, am I glad I dreamed these little gadgets up. They're worth their weight in web fluid. Have a nice trip, Skinny, and be careful not to shake your little passenger loose. Now to see where he's taking Patch.
Don't turn around, mister. Just talk. What were you snooping around for? I said talk. I'm not holding this gun just to keep my fingers company. Calm down, fella. I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to find Professor Strom, so's I could get a job with him. So, you know about the professor, huh? That's too bad, mister. Too bad for you.
Don't bet on it, Big Mouth. It might be too bad for Strom.
Spider-Man!
How on earth did you ever recognize me?
Phew, what a break for me. Look out! He's breaking away, and the exits are being sealed off.
Thanks for the bulletin, but I sorta noticed it myself.
I was a fool to let him trap me this way. We'll never break out.
Sure we will. We're the good guys, aren't we? This air shaft is just what we need. Have no fear, Spidey is here. It's open at the top. I can get out easy enough, and you'll be okay for a while. What are you gonna do? I'm off to catch me a robot. Meanwhile, grab that gun your ex-playmate dropped. I've gotta latch on to that walking pile of nuts and bolts before it does any damage. And with my little spider tracer zeroing me in, it can't take me more than a few minutes.
While on the other side of the thick cement wall.
Forget about Spider-Man and that unimportant snooper. A moment of revenge is again at hand. I must concentrate on keeping my robot under perfect control.
So, it's scene switching time again.
I have returned again, Osborn. Surely you remember my threat.
No, wait. Don't do it. Let's talk it over.
It's too late for talk, my scheming ex-partner. I've waited too long for this treasured moment.
But you can't get away with it. They'll catch you, send you back to prison.
Let them. Who cares what happens to a robot? And now, there is no need for haste. First, I'll ruin you financially by destroying everything which is of value to you.
I can't let him do it. I outsmarted him once. I've got to do it again.
I suggest you move aside, Osborn. I want to save you for the last. You may occupy your time by pleading for mercy, if you like.
He won't try to harm me yet. That means I'm safe. For a while. Now I know what to do.
And at that moment, in the best superhero tradition, in comes Spidey.
Wow, looks like I'm just in time.
Spider-Man.
How about that? This one can talk.
Why did he have to butt in now? If he defeats the robot, it could ruin my plan to get rid of Strom forever.
This won't be easy. I couldn't even budge him. And I don't like the looks of that beam shooting out towards me.
Spider-Man should have known better than to butt into something that doesn't concern him. I hope the robot finishes him off. He's becoming too dangerous to my plans.
Haven't you realized yet how useless your weapon is against me?
Don't worry. You've managed to make it abundantly clear. Strange. That fella didn't seem the least bit grateful to see me come between him and the robot. Well, I'll think about that some other time. If I live that long, I've got to find some way to fight him. Maybe if I can knock him off his feet, I'll have a chance. Well, so much for that. It's moments like this that make me wish someone else had been bitten by that radioactive spider.
But as Spidey races past the man he was trying to save.
Now's my chance. He was too busy to pay attention to me, and the robot hasn't seen me yet either. If that blow didn't finish him off, I'll let the robot do the job. As for me, I've got a lot to do now.
Seconds later.
Some poisonous vapor must have gotten him. Half the cons in prison will celebrate when the news gets out. But it looks as though Osborn got away. I'll destroy his plant while he's gone, just as I'd planned.
Later, after the rumbling robot has finally clanked off into the night.
Yow! My aching head. I must have been hit by a king-sized piece of flying debris. But I wonder why the robot didn't follow up his advantage. The answer must be that he thought I was dead. If so, here's where that metal-skinned mistake starts believing in ghosts. He's nowhere around. Must have returned to the hideout where Patch is. I was right. There he goes now. I've got to swing through that steel door before it slams shut. Made it!
Spider-Man, again!
You said that wrong, mister. It's Spider-Man still. It's now or never. Can't wait for that beam to hit me. Huh? Got him! By using just the right leverage, at the right time, I upset his delicate mechanical circuitry. That does it! He smashed into the power control units! Stay where you are, Professor! It's wrap-up time!
The steel window is opening! They must be coming for me! Why in blazes didn't Spider-Man get back here in time? It's the Hood who caught me, but he looks scared about something. He doesn't even remember I'm here. Strom can't pay me enough to stay face Spider-Man. I'm cutting out while I can.
But back at the ranch.
The robot's head is still undamaged. I'll get rid of you yet.
Wanna know something, Strom? Trying to get rid of Spidey seems to be the national underworld pastime, and I'm getting tired of it.
This webbing, it shut out before I could move.
Sorry, that's the ball game.
So, you were here, Spider-Man. I should have known.
Even though you've caught me, I'll still have my revenge. There's something I must tell you. Something nobody knows about.
I can't take the chance of him spilling the beans about me. There's too much at stake. I've too much to lose.
My spider sense! It's tingling! A gun! At that window! Look out! Another second would have been too late! He's all set to fire! Whoever it is, I can't let him get away!
Oh.
It doesn't make sense! It only took me 2 seconds to get up here! How could he have vanished so soon? And how did he get up there in the first place? There was no rope, no ladder, no sound of a helicopter. Uh-oh, now what happened to him?
He's dead. Looks like a heart attack to me. Wait, where are you running off to?
Nothing more for me to do here. You can look after things now.
Later, at the Osborn residence.
Dad, Mr. Jameson is here. He has some good news for you.
I know. I heard it on the radio. They caught Professor Strom. He was found dead.
I felt it was my duty as a fellow club member to tell you that you're safe now. That crooked ex-partner of yours was to blame for those attacks, but he can't bother you anymore.
The poor devil. I had forgotten all about him.
Well, it seems he didn't forget about you. He must have planned to get revenge on you all the years he was in prison. Some people can never be reformed, like that blasted Spider-Man.
I guess you're right. Nice of you to come here, Jonah. I appreciate it.
You know me. I'm all heart. See you at the club, Norman.
But when Norman Osborn is finally alone, he returns to his dark and menacing thoughts.
Spider-Man almost ruined everything for me, but it won't happen again. Now that his suspicions have been aroused, he must be disposed of.
And in another section of the city.
Hi, Parker. Feel like some bowling?
I couldn't have imagined it. There was someone at that window with a gun.
We can use another man.
He's ignoring us. Boy, how stuck up can you get?
He's as big a snob as everyone says he is.
But there could be another answer. What if I'm losing my spider sense? It could mean the beginning of the end for Spider-Man. I'd better not even think about it.
So, he's too good for us, huh? Guys like him don't want to know anybody. They'd rather go around without a care in the world.
Next issue, while waiting to see more of the mysterious Mr. Osborn, we'll toss a new villain at you. Nuff said.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes Spider-Man.